Right, so I'm here at Brads Barbershop in Upminster with Myles Lewis and Alex Perry. Just here to interview the pair of them. Alex is the co-owner of Brads Barbershop and Myles works with Brad and is also the founder of the Guerilla Barber charity.
That's it.
So, as a standard question, I ask everyone, what was your guys' inspiration and motivation to become barbers? I'll direct that at you first, Myles.
I basically wanted to work in an industry where I enjoyed what I did. I'm from marketing background, sales background, so I just wanted to basically work somewhere that I could enjoy it. I've always been cutting hair since I was a kid, never trained. I literally just shaving like my brother's hair and stuff. But I knew I liked it and I knew I had some sort of flair for it. So I saw a video by a guy in America, can't remember his name, but it was how barbering changed my life. And it just showed like what the barbering industry was, and so I really just jumped on and just wanted to get into it, and ever since I just loved it basically.
Okay, and yourself, Alex?
I did hairdressing first. I was hairdressing for about 4 years and I liked it, but it became tedious and I could just tell it wasn't really what I wanted to do. And it was actually watching A.D. Phelan, the hairdresser, doing men's hair. And I thought maybe I prefer specialising in that. And then Brad, my business partner, he opened a barbershop near where I lived. We used to go to school together. So he said, come in 2 days a week, see if you like it. And I suppose, yeah, that Brad was sort of my inspiration really. He sort of showed me barbering. I didn't really specifically get inspired by someone. Brad showed me it and I sort of thought, yeah, I enjoyed it so much more than hairdressing. It's got so many different levels to it that it's not just cutting men's hair, it's barbering and such.
Okay. Are you both formally trained or are you self-taught?
I was training hairdressing, self-taught barbering really. Brad done an apprenticeship at a local barbershop, and then when I come along I sort of knew the basics of it, of just sort of, I cut men's hair like an hairdresser rather than like a barber, and then started learning more and watching other people going to barbering things, and yeah, just getting better every day. You never really stop learning.
Okay. And yourself, Myles?
I learnt, self-taught, YouTubed it, and then I got an opportunity to go to London School of Barbering, jumped on that, grabbed it with 2 hands, went and did it, got my MVQ, and since then I've just been slogging haircuts out basically. Since I come to Brad's I've learned a lot, especially off Alex, and especially the Guerilla Barbering boys as well, so they've taught me a lot as well, which is where we want to be at.
Okay, so are you doing different styles in there, or would you say you pretty much all do the same style or kind of specialising in the same style at the moment here at Brad's?
I personally, we've got people, because we've got two shops, we've got people that do a lot of different things. We've got some guys that are amazing with their scissor work and their clipper works. I mean, it's on a level, but it's not their strong point. We've got people like Alex and Brad who mix up both perfectly, do you know what I mean? So their clipper work's far beyond point, scissor work's amazing. Me personally, I came into Brad's with my clipper work, and since then I've picked up a lot of scissor work, and basically it's now just a hybrid of a lot of styles coming into Brad's now. So a lot of people specialise in, like me and Al, we do both. We do like Afro-Caribbean hair as well as like all other types of hair. Some guys are better with longer hair and some people are better with like the short croppiest looks. So it's a good variety in our shops.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're basically geared to do this kind of like tight hip-hop work, and as they're saying in the summer it's going to get longer and you're prepared for the scissor work.
Everyone's got a different personality in the shop, so everyone sort of prefers a certain type of look, if you know what I mean. Everyone's look, when they're out of their shirts and smart shoes for work, everyone dresses differently. Like I'm sure people have seen Myles before in his bomber coat and bobble hat, and I'm a bit of a fan of a waistcoat sometimes. So like everyone's got different styles, so rather than sort of specialising it, just want to make sure all the barbers have all the skills to do any sort of style.
Yeah.
And then they'll put their own sort of spin on it, rather than sort of saying you specialise in, you know, like the 1960s look or the more skatery look or any sort of particular look.
We can do anything.
Everyone's skills to be good enough to do any look and just put their own little edge on it. So
Yeah,
sort of-
and that gears you up because you can train off of one another.
That's it.
You
That's
can
sort
learn
of what we
from
want.
the
We want,
skin
like,
fade man and the
Definitely.
yeah.
Like Myles came in as a bit like really good clipper work, and even I picked a few things up of him because there's a million ways to skin a cat, you know. And it's great that everyone comes to work with the same attitude. I don't like any arrogance towards learning because someone might be a terrible barber on a certain haircut and the best haircut you've ever seen on a different style. So it's yeah, I like everyone to be able to do everything.
So let's talk about outside of the shop. Where are you guys seeking your inspiration from right now, if you were to name some names?
Definitely, I really like the work of Alan and Marie Speak at Ruger. They're big inspirations just because we met last year, went up to the shop, I got a haircut, Myles got a haircut, and the whole sort of ethos towards it, there's no ego. You walk in the shop and there's no, you know, for the calibre of barbers they are, it's such a welcoming atmosphere.
Yeah, they're not idiots.
No, they're
which is nice.
really welcoming. And even going into sort of some of the kind of barbers that are doing a lot more kind of Afro hair, like sort of the Wall UK team as well. The Andy's team, Baldy's Barbers, I'm a big fan of Baldy, he's really good. Alternative Barbering Company, Greg McCurlin I've learnt a lot off, as well as Sam Campagna, the pair of them with Myles' Guerrilla Barbering.
Yeah.
They're an inspiration to watch work, and yeah, just they blew me away first time I see them come. I've learnt a lot off them guys.
Me personally, I look at a lot of the US guys just for the fades and what they do. I mean, I don't agree with all the filtering stuff that everyone's doing at the moment, but yeah, the Beaks, Alan Reese, Aidan, Danielle, they're all spot on in their shop, which is really, really good, especially when we went up there, saw them. Greg, amazing. Sam, Nathan Bradbury, he taught me guard skipping, which is just taking my fades from a good level to a much higher level. Yeah, Nathan. And then we've got people like Al. He's inspired me with a lot of scissor cuts, taking a step back. Because sometimes I used to work on my own a lot, and you think you know a lot until you come to reality and you realise that you don't know everything that you think you know. So I've taken a step back. He's taught me a lot of stuff, and it's just great. Just there's a lot of people in there. there's a lot of people. Brad. A few people like Ben, Mitch, everyone in our shops, they all teach different things.
Yeah.
And it works really well.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
Okay. And Al, as the co-founder, tell me a little bit about the design of the shop. I mean, for me, it's kind of really clean, fresh. It's got that gentleman's edge on it where you've got kind of like the ornate knobs on the doors and you've got the old-fashioned things. Give me your take on it.
I wanted the look that when we done both shops, me and Brad both agreed, we wanted like a modern classic. I wanted a traditional barber shop where men come there and get sharpened up. You can come in jeans, trainers and your dirty work t-shirt, or you can come in a suit after work. And I just wanted it to be a clean, fresh, really kind of classic looking place that didn't really specialise to any genre. Like, I like the fact that whatever client in the chair, whatever they're looking, so they can feel comfortable in it, and you can sort of, I think if you brand your shop to a certain market, you're only going to attract a certain type of customer. Whereas I like to think, I like doing loads of different styles of haircuts every single day, so I want it to be open to every single style to come in. And it was just kind of inspired from a lot of the way barbershops used to be, you know, with like say the sinks, the taps, just all very classic, but
Butler sinks, that's what they're called.
The butler sinks, yeah. And we modernised it up with the black gloss, the gold tiling, tellies and things like that. But yeah, really just wanted to keep it a modern classic. That was kind of what we went for.
Okay, perfect. And you got your own line of wet product that you sell exclusively in the shop. Between you guys, just explain what the product line is.
Your sort of product name, Myles, do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, obviously we work together to get the brand running. It's called Noble Gentleman's Grooming. We run a sea salt spray, a vintage pomade. We've got a creative cream, hunter's mud, and classic matte. And we just basically we stock other brands, but we wanted to just have something that we want to use, that we can use every day. So we had a load of different products to choose from and formulate with, and we picked the ones that we thought would work the best for us. So what we did, we got the creative cream, and obviously we put our spin on it. And yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a good product. I use it all the time now. That's my go-to, especially with the new pomade that we got. Yeah, it's good, and it's nice to have your own.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, perfect. And Myles, you're the founder of a charity called the Guerilla Barbers charity.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this charity and why you formed it and who it will benefit.
Okay, I can't remember when it was. It was over probably about a year ago. Yeah, about a year ago, I thought to myself, I want to go to London, and with a fold-out chair, some cordless clippers, cordless trimmers, cut some people's hair, and if I get some tips, I'll just go to McDonald's or whatever, get the homeless guy some food, kind of make it a nice little thing. Since then, I've got a few people involved, and they were on the same tip. Let's just go on the streets, let's do it, let's cut some hair. And then it snowballed. Like, obviously yourself, for example, you were there, you saw the event, it was insane. We basically got more and more people involved, put it out there on social media, and from there, people were just getting involved. I mean, there's me, Luke, Chris, Sam, Nathan, Greg, and Alex is now, from today, become another one of our ambassadors. So, I mean, we've got a great team behind us, some really high-skilled barbers, and we're just literally doing pop-up shops, bits all over London to basically raise awareness for Centrepoint is who we're working with at the moment. Last year we did it for Crisis, homeless charity. This year we're doing it for Centrepoint, which is 16 to 25-year-olds who have dealt with homelessness. So we're raising the awareness of the homelessness that's affected. I mean, I know a lot of barbering people, they go and cut hair for homeless people, which is great, but we don't want to just cut someone's hair because that'll last 2 weeks. From 2 weeks of hair growth, it's hard for them to find another barber that's going to cut their hair for free. So what we want to do is make it more of a national, international thing where people realise the problems, realise how we can change people's perception of people who have dealt with homelessness, because they're not, everyone's unlucky. So for myself, I thought I could have been unlucky, I could be on the streets. There's a thin line between being on the streets and being housed. So I want to help people that can't help themselves with the skill set I've got. So from there, that's where we've gone. We've just banging everything in it, like all of us, the ambassadors, my co-founders. We're putting a lot of time to making new events. We've got one on May the 1st, one on August 28th. So they're the two that are coming up. And we've got so much more that I can't even tell you, Larry. Like at the moment, there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline, stuff that you wouldn't even imagine that we'd do. But it's going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, coming soon. And it's not one of those things where I just want to say, oh, and then nothing happens. I really want, like, obviously it'll be exclusive with most probably yourself and Barber Envy Mag when we do start hitting the stuff that we really, really want to do. But yeah, watch this space. Should be good.
And your job as an ambassador, Alex, what would that be? Tell me. What a Guerilla Barber ambassador does.
I've only officially been made an ambassador today, but I like to think I've been helping out.
How was you anointed?
I was anointed with a quick chat before a heap load of customers coming this morning.
Oh, no scissors over the shoulders or clippers over the shoulders?
Get a good pair of 7-inch so you could give it a go. Yeah. But yeah, just helping out with a lot of the speaking to sponsors, organising places.
Manchester.
Yeah, we went to Manchester in November last year to cut a homeless FA tournament, the first football street tournament, international football street tournament, sorry. People affected by homelessness. And to be honest, on the first event last August? Yeah, last August.
August 14th, yeah.
And then Manchester in November, and I was hooked from there, to be honest. Like, as a barber, there's not a lot you can do with your skills to help the homeless. Like Myles said, if you give them free haircuts, it's going to grow out. But being out of work and doing these events and helping with the barbering and actually cut hair to the people that the money goes and helps, and the money helps these things like the homeless FA.
Yeah.
It's great.
That was a game changer for us.
It was amazing. We came back from there, and attitude was totally different towards homelessness. In general, I had quite a good attitude, I think, anyway. But seeing these people that are affected by it and being around them to actually sit and have a chat with, it's incredible. So it's mainly, as an ambassador, I'm assuming it's going to be just helping out with all of the organising, helping out as much as I can with taking weight off Myles, because these things a lot of people get involved, and there's a lot of people to talk to on a daily basis. So it's just helping out with that and being at his disposal for any charitable needs.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Just charitable ones.
Charitable needs, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the next event, give me a date and location and how people can get involved.
May the 1st, 2016. It's going to be, we're waiting for, basically, we're viewing shops as we speak. It's very last minute, the pop-up shops. Like, you're literally going to see one, going to see another, and then, oh, that one's taken, another one's taken. So at the moment, it's going to be in Shoreditch/ East London areas, similar to what we did last year, because the people, we go there because the people who come to our events are quite trendy, quite outward thinking, and quite interested in helping others. Do you know what I mean? Like, some places you could bang it and they just wouldn't be interested. Yeah. We could do central London, we could do areas like that, but it's such a rat race around there. We want people who are like, oh, that's interesting, let's go and have a look, let's go and chuck a fiver into that, whatever.
To make it an event rather than just a fundraiser, really.
Yeah, it's not a fundraiser, it's an event, and it's an event that we want people from the public to be excited to go to. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, the barber industry, everyone's like, yeah, barbering, Barber Connect, whatever. But no one from the public comes unless they're a model. Yeah. And that's probably quite boring for them. So we want people to enjoy themselves, get a fresh trim, and May the 1st we're going to have concession stands. People can basically bring their, like for you, for instance, bring some clippers down, sell them. Do you know what I mean? 10% will go from whatever anyone takes on their concession, will go to the charity, will go to Guerilla Barbering and who we support. So it's something that we really want to get going annually and more national than just London. So it's starting small. We've only been doing it just over a year. So it's planting a seed and growing a tree basically, and see what we can do from there.
Okay, so if other barbers are listening to this interview and they want to get involved and come along and be another pair of hands,
yeah,
how do they do that?
They can go on facebook.com/Guerilla Barbering, spelled as in guerrilla marketing warfare. GUERRILLA. Yeah, Guerilla Barbering on Facebook, Instagram @Guerilla Barbering, Twitter @Guerilla Barber. So contact us through there, or you can speak to Al on Instagram at
Alex the Barber 90.
Alex the Barber 90, at Myles Lewis Barber. Anyone you see with a picture with a gorilla's head on it is pretty much Guerilla Barbering. So you can speak to anyone that's involved and they'll always point you in the right direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if someone's viewed this and they're really passionate and they like what you do and they want to make a donation, how would they make a donation?
On the day, you can leave a cash donation, and we're setting up a Just Giving page nearer the date of the event. Basically, that'll go straight to Centrepoint. It won't even touch our hands. It will just go straight to them.
Okay. And that's so people can do that anywhere
in the world. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's really great stuff what you're doing there. And changing the subject quite a lot, what are your thoughts on state registration? Because I've been having quite a lot of interviews and discussion on state registration.
So many opinions.
There's a lot. My personal opinion is state registration. As I understand it, I'm not that educated on state registration. So everyone's got the SRSB on their names, Facebook. It looks wicked. It's good. Yeah. I think state registration is good. We need some sort of legality behind us to say that we are barbers. But everyone's getting registered, but I don't see why everyone is getting registered, because it still doesn't make you have to be registered. Do you know what I mean? So the state registration thing is, I can get state registered, you can get it, but then someone down the road who can't cut hair, who thinks they're decent, even if they've got an MVQ, I don't really care what people have got. As long as they can cut hair, they should be state registered if they're good. It should be more of a quality thing than a I've been doing it 38 years, but I still cut a pony haircut. Do you know what I mean? If everyone can get state registered, it's obsolete to me, basically. Because I mean, I could do it tomorrow, wicked. I've got it, I'm registered, but then I'm not invincible. Do you know what I mean? It's not. Yeah. It just seems a little bit obsolete. I don't want to be negative towards things like this because I think things like this are good for the industry. Like we should be registered like the Americans are. Do you know what I mean? You should have to have that standard of. But then if I can get it, and then someone down the road who's not good at barbering turning out horrendous haircuts, we see a lot in the industry.
A lot.
Why would that benefit anyone else? Like.
Do you know what it is? It's more of a, because I interviewed Gary Merchant, who's the chairman.
Yeah.
So basically, at the beginning, it has to be a little bit crude. So the only way that they can get some form of foundation going at the beginning is you've got the MVQ, or you've got 6 years of experience. Other than that, it would mean knocking on the door. The amount of money that it would cost to have an inspector come to your shop and vet you, it would go into the millions.
Exactly. But then for me, that's also obviously you have to hit the ground running. You have to get something started. But then until there's 100,000 people under his belt that are state registered, there could be 50,000 that aren't good enough. I know you have to do that bit.
Yeah, but I made a suggestion to him that if they made the public aware, so if you went on an advertising campaign, made the public aware, then it'd be on GMTV, it'd be in Sunday magazines, it would be everywhere. The consumer would come into the shop and they'll be looking around for your state registration, see you're not state registered, and then go to somewhere that is. That's how it's going to work.
That's what I think.
That's how it should work.
It should be made more public that barbers have to be state registered. Like in America, everybody knows it. Everybody knows your barber has to be registered, has to be licensed to perform barbering. And I kind of agree with Myles. It's obviously if there's people on there that aren't very good, but you have to get a foundation in. So I think it needs to be more publicised. It needs to be every barber getting registered, so that in 5 years' time, barbers who aren't good enough will no longer exist. You will have to have the training. And the thing is, once you've got the basics there, it's no longer you have to be registered to an MVQ level 2. You can be state registered to an MVQ, and then some, with 10 years experience, get a different kind of licensing, a different kind of registration.
I think they do that.
It is a good thing eventually, but I think it's going to be really hard without the publicity that it should get. Like you say, make the consumer aware, make the clients look for that certificate to see whether people actually care about barbering, because some shops that pop up just out of nowhere within a matter of weeks and seem to be out of cut hair.
Yeah.
For them to get registered.
It's definitely, for me, the only way forward is to do the consumer, because half the problem at the moment is one-upmanship. One barber saying, I'm state registered.
Yeah.
So what? Yes, it's good that you're state registered, but the public don't know.
Yeah, it means nothing to the client who's paying the money.
That's it. Yeah, unless your customer knows about state registration, it's a bit of paper that looks good on Facebook. Yeah. Personally, I don't want to be arrogant. I don't want to be arsey. I don't want to be like that. But for me, at the moment, I think unless the consumer knows, then no one will know. It's no one's. We're not cutting other barbers' hair. We're cutting the public's hair, and unless they're looking for a state register, but obviously you need a foundation to get that running. So for me, it's
6 years or NVQ.
Yeah.
All right, so let's come out of the dark into the light. What are you guys loving about barbering right this second?
I like the way everyone's been over to America, like yourself and that. I thought that was amazing. We've never really had a presence from the UK over there, and this year it seemed like we had some good people over there. Obviously Alan again was over there.
Yeah,
did they both? Yeah.
They were in LA last year, weren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they've. I mean, they're the people that should be over there. There's a few people that shouldn't be shooting out there, but there's a lot of people that should be. And I mean, from what they've done and what you've done, hopefully next year we can get some even better people. Do you know what I mean? Flying over there, getting involved, because their cuts, fades, and that are good. It's all boxed off hairlines. It's very sharp. Over here, we come with a little bit more of a fashionable background, if you know what I mean. It's a European thing. It must be. Yeah, it's a softer finesse.
Americans, you've got hard lines.
Hard lines, dark black beards. Do you know what I mean? It's all very sharp. But yeah, I'd love to go out there next year or in a few years' time when I'm at a level to. I'd like to take Guerilla Barbering out there, just because barbering's massive over there. As we were saying, we had a conversation earlier, how different the expos, BarberCon and Barber Expos and. Yeah.
Well, I really like the fact that the UK's got a presence. You know, we're sort of
That's
almost now being seen as leading the way in barbering. Like, Americans have got great skill sets in other ways, but they're looking to the UK for barbers, for inspiration. And, you know, like, people like the Beaks going over there and doing the training courses. It's great, you know, like, we're actually, the UK can be proud of the fact that we're kind of developing barbering to such a level that you were a tiny little island with a tiny little barber community in a minute, and the American barber community is huge and so excessive. To have that much influence is great. It's really motivating a lot of UK barbers, I think, the fact that we're serious competitive. We're serious competitive with our talents.
Yeah, well, my take on it is it's by contrast. So
Yeah,
if you remember kind of a year and a half ago when I kind of turned up on the scene and was educating people about the frequency 60 hertz and the ability to use the clippers, and I was putting them in people's hands and they're like, wow, now I know how the Americans are getting the quality of fades. I thought I was a retard or something, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's with the fade and the hard lines.
Yeah.
America's seeking inspiration because they're doing the hard lines. They're seeking the softness.
They want to do what you've
European
done over
softness.
here backwards.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they want the softness.
Yeah,
I mean, they
yeah.
don't know the softness. It's always been hard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my take.
I think that's the good thing about it, is the fact that they are different to us, and they cut totally differently. And like you say, bringing the American clippers over, I've literally only just been introduced to American setups in the last couple of months, and yeah, their clippers game changers when it comes to doing harsh stuff. It's nice to have that contrast, because I think a lot of UK barbers can learn a lot of the Americans, their fading and anything sharp, as much as they can learn off us to do the softer stuff. Although some of their harsh box stuff cuts, I do think they would look so much better if it was softer. I'm still trying to open
it's the hip hop.
You're kind of opening my mind to box off hairlines, but
What I like is
it's cool.
what I like is the way we can like some of the fades that Sam does, Campagna, like he does the harsh, sharp, and then it's just layered through the top, ridiculous. Like just that's what I like. I like the US setup with the European, British scissor work on top, like the hybrid of them two. Yeah, that's where UK, England should be pushing forward, because that's where we could smash it. Don't you think?
Definitely.
Okay. And away from state registration, what are you not liking about barbering, and what would you like to see changed?
The barber. The barber thing. Yeah, no, the barber thing. I could be guilty of it. It's not an arrogance. It's just everyone's so passionate. The self-belief sometimes goes further than your quality or your standard. Yeah, like there's a lot of people out there that are like, that just kind of. It's very hard to say without sounding like an absolute arsehole. But
can I say, there's a lot of Instagram numbers going, but the skill sets don't match the numbers.
Thank you. Yeah, basically. Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of people that, I mean, you can have a lot of followers, but anyway, it's not that. It's not just the followers. It's more of the way you work. It's just the people. There's cliques in the industry. People love certain people for certain reasons, just because of followers. For instance, like I don't look at a barber because of their followers. I don't care about Instagram. It's a good tool. Don't get me wrong. And if you get some good followers, yeah, brilliant. But our Facebook page. Someone that's got 30,000 followers on Instagram that they've paid for, whatever, will get 30 likes on a bog standard fade, pomp, haircut that's boring. Or there'll be someone like that we've seen, that we would like, me, yourself, Jay, maybe Jay would put up a haircut of a longer hairstyle. No, Jay, what's Jay's name? Jay Rogoff works with us over in Sheffield. He's amazing scissor work. And people are just like, well, it's not got a fade, so it's got 3 likes. But those 3 likes are from people that actually know the industry a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's just that industry sheep. We need to break that in. That's the only bad thing about England. It's because we're so small, everyone's like, oh, they're doing that, they're doing this, we'll jump on. Everyone needs to branch out and do their own thing. Like, just enjoy what you're doing. Don't worry about,
The bad thing is that barbers are almost judged by the fade in the minute. I know it's a very popular trend with fades and things, but they're not judged on the quality of barber, they're judged on what their fade looks like. Like, I've put haircuts up on Instagram with a cracking fade that have got 50 odd likes in the first 2 hours because the fade looks brilliant. I'll put a long haircut up that I spent longer on, that I blow dried more, that I put more texture into, more
layers,
but because it's not a fade with a hard part, all barbers are like, it's just split scissor work. And you think you're judged on your fade, and it's annoying because some of the layer, like these fades are brilliant, some of the layering and thought that goes into the rest of the haircut is almost like it's just forgotten about.
Yeah.
But that's why barbers like Alan and Marie Speak, I think, are brilliant because
Like who?
Alan and Marie Speak.
Yeah. What? We love Alan and Marie Speak.
But even barbers like, look, there's so many that are doing it and not getting the limelight for it. But there's so many that do a cracking fade and take a good photo of it that are getting the recognition for it. I think it needs to be more spread. We're all barbers, we all know what a good haircut is.
Yeah.
I can tell you why that is. The thing is, the young guys are kind of dominating the barbering world via social media.
Yeah.
So all the young guys are judging it by fades. The older guys, the more established guys, are frowning upon the young guys that are just being one-trick pony with the fades and saying, what are you going to do when the fade... I've heard it so many times.
What are you going to do when the fades go,
I think a fade is a talent, don't get me wrong, I'm not debating that at all. Doing a good fade can really make or break a good haircut.
Yeah, big
but
time.
I think we're all professionals, we're all industry, we all know how hard it is to do the other stuff as well. So we should judge each other on the full package rather than just whether you can do a good fade or not. Because a good fade is a talent, but it's one side of the talent.
Fade ratings.
There's all the other bits.
And everyone's like fade ratings.
Yeah.
So what tools? Let's get down to tools then. What tools are you using to get cracking fades?
Yours.
Namely, not mine.
Using at the moment Andis Fade Masters, the US ones, the GTX Andis for the lineups and stuff, and then the Andis T liners. I think they're called T liners. Yeah, the T outliners. That's it. I've got them, and then I use called super tapers. Literally, I've got 2 pairs of called super tapers, a pair of Wild Seniors.
He loves the clipper.
A pair of. I mean, I've got loads of pairs, but what I use is the called super tapers, one with a magic clip blade on. Then I've got the seniors, the Wild Seniors, the Andis Fade Masters, the Andis Outliners, some T-cuts by Wild. I use a lot of different things because I like to see what's different. So, I mean, softer stuff, I use different stuff.
And yourself, Alex?
I'm a lot more refined. About 6 months ago, we got robbed and all my kit got stolen. Everything that I built up over the years. So since then, I've been trying to find a setup that I'm really comfortable with again. So at the minute, I'm using the Andis Masters, Americans, Wall cordless super tapers with a magic clip blade on, which have 0 gaps as well. So they are taking it as close as close. I use an Andis Slimline Pro trimmer.
Lithium one, isn't it?
The Pro Lithium, yeah. So it gets 0 gap nice and close. And I use the
Ionica.
Yeah, the Andis Ionicas as well for sort of more of my longer stuff because of the shorter guards on them. It picks up the hair really nicely.
Softer.
It's a lot softer, yeah. But I'm the kind of barber that gets comfy in his equipment and I get my setup right and then I can attack it rather than Myles likes to try a lot more things.
Yeah.
I get a bit nervous trying things. I have to get comfortable with it and then branch out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you guys see yourself in the next 5 years, let's say, because you're still 2 relatively young men?
Next 5 years.
You can start this one.
Definitely more shops open. That's sort of what I've been barbering for 4 years now. I've literally just been concentrating on getting a shop open, getting the shop up and running, getting the other shop busy and things like that. So definitely more shops, but I'd like to have more presence in the industry really. I've kind of put my input into the industry on the back burner while I've been concentrating on getting the business side of things up and running. Myles has helped me out with that, of really sort of involving me in the industry a little bit more and putting myself out there. So yeah, I'd like to be competing a lot more in the competitions. Definitely more shops open and helping Guerilla Barbering evolve into this charitable masterpiece that it's turning out to be.
Hopefully, yeah, man.
Just getting as successful as I can and helping out as much as I can throughout the next 5, 10, 15 years.
You're doing things the right way. You're not building up your Instagram numbers with not the talent to, or the numbers on the numbers of bums on your seats to justify your Instagram numbers,
Definitely.
which is a very wise move.
Yeah. Thank you.
And yourself, Myles?
Me personally, in 5 years' time, I want to have 100,000 followers on Instagram. And no, I want Guerilla Barbering to be full time. I want to be. To be honest, I don't want to work with you anymore.
Cheers, mate.
In 5 years' time, I don't want to be in the shop. I want to have shops maybe, but I want to be working Guerilla Barbering full time because it takes a lot of my time up, and it doesn't pay me anything. So it would be nice. Not yet.
You've got. It's important that you have these words in your vocabulary.
Yes.
It's a simple word, but it will empower you. Not yet.
Not yet. So I mean, at the moment, we're building that platform of Guerilla Barbering, and the stuff in the future that I can't tell you is exciting. And I just want to, I just want to basically just make Guerilla Barbering work and help a load of youngsters that just lost their way a little bit. I just want to bring kids off that just want to be roadmen, and do you know what I mean? Don't want to
Kids like you.
kids like me, people that
Like he was. Remember?
I was.
Kids like he was.
Yeah. So I mean, I wasn't great at school. I didn't like school at all. But barbering for me, I went to barber school and I was fine with it. And I think it's one of those ones where it's cool, it's trendy, and we can take people away from whatever's going on in their lives and focus them and say, look, you're going to be a barber and you're going to be able to smash it. So that's basically, without saying too much, basically what I want to do in the next 5 years.
Okay, so in closing, you just made a good point about helping the younger generation. You're an inspiration because you're a shop owner. You're an inspiration because you've set up a charity. Both of you are clearly focused individuals.
Yeah.
What words of practical advice could you give to the young man who's watching this video on the fence about becoming a barber? What words could you give him to embark upon barbering and be grounded?
You first.
How do you say this without sounding really patronising? I think concentrate on yourself rather than what you see around you. Take inspiration from other people, but concentrate on yourself at the end of the day. The people that you're getting inspiration from might not be the biggest influences around you at the time, because I've worked with a lot of people that at the time I took for granted a little bit. It's when you look back and you think, so and so showed me that before, and because they're not the Instagram famous ones or the ones that are really getting put about, you don't take notice of it, but you can learn off every single client that sits in your chair, every single barber you work with. So I'd just say concentrate on yourself and what's around you directly. Learn off everyone, no matter whether they're recognised or not. Just, if you're going to get into the industry, you've got to be open-minded with it. And inspiration to the next generation of barbers has just got to be concentrate on yourself, concentrate on your work.
Okay, that's a good take. And yourself, Myles?
I think because I'm relatively new into the industry, what did it for me was kind of, if you want to be a barber and you're going to enjoy it, you're not going to be turning up to work every day. You'll be turning up to something you like doing. Yeah. So rather than getting your pockets filled by sitting in an office, bored out your face, talking to idiots all day on the phone, I'd rather be in a barbershop talking to some funny old geezers, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Some funny lads that have come in, do you know what I mean? And just have a laugh and enjoy what you're doing, and you're still making money. So if you've got an opportunity to become a barber and you're actually serious about being a barber, it's not just because it's cool or because it's in at the moment. If you want to be a barber and you want to learn how to shave, fade, long haircuts, short haircuts. You can't just be a barber because you want to do some sick skin fades. You need to be a barber because you want to make people look better and feel better about themselves. So I would say basically grab it with both hands. If you've got an opportunity, even if you're in an old man's barbershop, there's a one-man band, do you know what I mean? Sit there and watch him because he's going to have some experience that's going to be able to take you to the next level. So what I would do basically is don't be too, like, for me personally, I learned, then I got a little bit arrogant about my skill set. And then I've come to the reality of being arrogant is your only detrimental problem to learning. So people out there that think they're amazing, everyone knows they're a decent barber if you're a decent barber, but don't be arrogant. Like, that's what this industry needs. Just don't be arrogant with it. It's your worst. What is it we said the other day? Arrogance is detrimental to your education or something. Yeah. We did some really philosopher style.
Yeah, right out on a t-shirt quotes.
T-shirt quotes, yeah, t-shirt quotes. It was nice. It would definitely be good. Vinyl. Don't. Anyways, no. If you're a youngster, you want to get into barbering, find people who can help you and don't take it for granted. Just jump in because it's one of the best industries in the world and it's probably one of the most fast-growing. I mean, male grooming. It's probably got to be one of the most up-and-coming industries in the world because men actually care now.
Okay. Definitely. Gentlemen, thank you very much. It was a very interesting, diverse interview. I'm sure people watching this are going to learn a lot more about you. Obviously, the charity. I hope the interview can get more barbers involved. They can listen and hear that it's a worldwide, worthwhile course.
Yes.
So, until May, when I see you guys at the event, I wish you the very best.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.